Ever since I can remember, I've had this love and desire to create, and music has proved to have the strongest hold on me. Growing up in the Orange County hardcore scene in the late 90s and early 2000s was such a great thing for what I wanted to do in life. You know, being a little teenager where the local bands you get to see are bands like Throwdown, 18 Visions, and Bleeding Through, I can't really tell you how important that community was for me. There was this amazing sense of family and brotherhood at all the shows. 90% of that family was sober and straight edge, which made things so genuine, so real. There were no fake, intoxicated, "I love you, man" speeches that were forgotten the next morning. I started playing drums and quickly joined in hardcore and grindcore bands like Loftus and Tire Iron, and then got asked to play for 18 Visions, and that's where my life completely changed forever. I went from being an art major at Loyola Marymount, playing shows once a month at most, to touring the world in one of my favorite bands that I'd always looked up to. Through touring, I was quickly exposed on a friendship level to bands I've always looked up to from all around the world, and AFI and HIMSA became two of the most important to me. I later joined some of my favorite bands in the industrial scene, Imperative Reaction and Combi Christ, and was on tour one time talking about how I missed all the old grindcore bands I grew up listening to. So I decided to just make my own band to listen to myself and give it to friends that felt the same way. So I started this band one afternoon at Mick Kenny's house called Monkeys Are Machine Guns. After a day of me just screaming my head off, we had a full album ready to go. All my friends responded a lot more positively to my vocals, which to me were just absurd animal noises. So I had this idea to start something a little more serious. I wanted to start a concept band where all the lyrics were from the point of view of a witch in the Salem trials and all the things she goes through and experiences. And I wanted to call it The Witch Was Right. I wanted this to be a representation of me and all the bands I've been involved in and all the people that I've looked up to. So I decided to just say fuck it and ask Davey Havoc of AFI and John Pettibone of HIMSA to do guest vocals on some songs. Both said yes, so basically two of my life heroes sing with me on my record. So if no one likes it, I don't give a shit. After writing a few songs, a friend of mine asked if I wanted to open up for his band and to go on tour in a couple of months. So before I even had an album, I was assembling my band of weirdos to try and translate all this craziness into a live show. I instantly fell in love with being able to create something musically and visually exactly the way I wanted it and the way I saw it. What was then only supposed to be 2.5 weeks of touring turned into 4 insane, crazy months of shows with my best friends having the best time ever. In turn, that brought fans to a band that barely even existed, definitely didn't have a record out. So I quickly approached all these record labels with these weird songs I had written and, no one would fucking touch it. They all seemed to love what I was doing, but they couldn't take the risk on a band that didn't fit their cookie cutter formula, and, I don't blame them. After going through all of that, I've just decided to fund everything all myself. I couldn't be happier with what I've created. Words just can't describe the feeling that I get from positive feedback on something that, I've put my heart and soul into. I've learned that for me, in the end, the only thing I really care about is making things that I'm proud of.